Welcome everyone to Grand Tour Wrestling Brawl. I am your host, Infinite Fantasy, and we're live here at Berlin, Germany, and we're about to hear from the mighty Hercules as he's about to approach the ring and address the live crowd here tonight. I also want to give a shout out to Zach 2021-25 saying hello right back at you, Zach. It's nice to meet you. I'm glad you could join us here tonight. We also got Danton Red Sox here in the live chat as well. I want to welcome everyone here to GTW Brawl. And here comes the mighty god, Hercules, coming out to the ring. It was on Dystopia, where he gave Charles Elliott the ultimatum. Now we all know that Hercules has a no accountability clause in his contract. He cannot be reprimanded, he cannot be fired for any of his actions, and he has made it very clear to the director of GTW that if he does not grant him his World Heavyweight title match, he will find another victim along with Jamie Hayter. Jamie Hayter might have just been the beginning when him and Amber Charlotte brutally assaulted her backstage on Saturday night's Dystopia. And Hercules said he was going to come out in the beginning of tonight's show, and if Charles Elliott did not give in to his demands, he would find another victim here tonight. I got a question from Zach over here. If you could give a underappreciated fictional character the power to be the GM in a fictional fighting league, who would you choose? Ooh. An underappreciated fictional character. I'll tell you what, we'll get to that in just a second, Zach. I would give it to Shaggy from Scooby-Doo. If I have to be honest, I think it would be hilarious if Shaggy was a general manager for a night. Elliot, the time has come. Do the right thing and name me the #1 contender for the World Heavyweight Championship, or I will find another victim to destroy. Just like I did to Jamie Hayter. Oh, and here comes Armstrong. You are a coward, Hercules. You claim you are mighty. You claim you are a god. That you are true champion of this sacred sport. When I look at you, I do not see a champion in front of me. I see a man with no integrity. A man that resorts to beating helpless women when he does not get his way. Mr. Elliott, if you are listening to us backstage, I highly recommend that you come out here right now and give me my title match, or else Mr. Armstrong over here will be the next victim I send to the hospital. Go ahead, comrade. I want to see you try. I want an excuse. After what you did to my comrade Jamie Hayter, I would love nothing more than to break you. I would love nothing more than to destroy you and Amber Charlotte for what both you did to Jamie Hayter. A helpless girl who had no hope at surviving an ambush from a 345-pound man and his assailant. Well then, European champion Andre Armstrong, what is stopping you? Are you afraid? Well, you see who's afraid soon enough. It was director Charles Elliott himself who sent me out here, and I come with a proposition. As I said, both you and Amber Charlotte need to face justice. That is why I challenge you both to an intergender tag team match this Sunday at the Grand Rumble, live in Greece on pay-per-view. Jamie Hayter will not be in the ring for quite some time, if ever again. Jamie Hayter was merely a substitute Hercules. At the Grand Rumble, my true tag team partner will fight with me. The Old Gods will be against the Red Faction. If you agree to this match and lose, then Charles Elliott may remove your no accountability clause from your contract, making you accountable for your actions that moment forward. And why would I agree to such a thing? You see, Hercules, because if you win, and this comes from Charles Elliott himself, you will be made #1 contender for World Heavyweight Championship. Or we can go to war. You can continue to beat on others while I get in your way. The choice is yours, comrade. So to be clear, Andre, you and Brenda Bison versus myself and Amber Charlotte in a tag team match in my home country of Greece. If I lose, I can from that point forward be held accountable for future actions. But if I win, when I win my challenge, I may challenge the World Heavyweight Champion at any time of my choosing. Yes, as agreed by our director Charles Elliott. I agree to these terms. I'll see you at Greece. And the challenge is set. Hercules and Amber Charlotte versus Brenda Bison and Andre Armstrong. Intergender tag team match at the Grand Rumble this Sunday on pay-per-view. If Hercules wins, he will become #1 contender for the World Heavyweight Championship, something Charles Elliott swore he would never have a shot at ever again. But if Hercules loses, the no accountability clause, the very clause that has protected him from all violent acts here in GTW, will go away, and he will, for that point forward, be held accountable. Who will win? Will it be the Old Gods, Hercules and Amber Charlotte, or will it be Andre Armstrong and Brenda Bison of the Old Faction? Find out this Sunday, live on pay-per-view at the Grand Rumble. And we got a comment here from Zach. For me, Johnny Gat from Saints Row. That would also be hilarious. That's another great choice to see Johnny Gat from Saints Row as a GM. I'm definitely with you on that one. Ladies and gentlemen, when we return, we'll be having our final qualifying match for the Fatal 4-Way this Saturday on Dystopia. The winner of that Fatal 4-Way will become the very first Women's European Champion here in GTW, Rebecca Troy versus Kalina Jordan, coming up next. I never asked for your help on Dystopia. That was my match to win on my own. Ah, Baka, you should be thanking Asuka. It's because of Asuka you now in Fatal 4-Way. But when you win European Champion, you can thank Asuka with title match. Then Asuka may forgive you. You will never get any title match against me. But I will be more than happy to beat you in the ring here tonight. You will get no mercy from Asuka.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall. Making her way to the ring, accompanied by Damian Maximus, representing the Olympians from Baltimore, Maryland, the Olympian Rebecca Troy.
Is it me, or is Rebecca Troy and Damian Maximus getting rather close with each other? They were the former intergender tag team champions who lost the titles at Friday Night's All-Star last week, but yet it seems despite losing the titles, the bond between these two have not exactly broken. You have Rebecca Troy all over Damian here. And it's quite funny because usually Rebecca Troy never gets this close to anyone unless there's something in it for her, and it seems to be the same case with Damian Maximus as of late. But then again, Maximus and Troy, they do seem to be a couple worthy of Olympus. Now Rebecca Troy has one thing on her mind, and that is winning this qualifying match so she can compete in the Fatal 4-Way for the European title.
And her opponent from Boynton Beach, Florida, Kalani Jordan.
And here comes Kalani Jordan, making her way to the ring. First time wrestling here in Germany. This is our fourth show here in this European tour. Kalani Jordan has not had a very extensive career here in GTW, but she's looking to change that by making history. A victory tonight will ensure her into that Fatal 4-Way match. And once again, that Fatal 4-Way taking place this Saturday on Dystopia will determine the very first Women's European Champion here in Grand Tour Wrestling. Can Kalani Jordan overcome the Olympian Empress Rebecca Troy and make history? And here comes the bell as we have Rebecca Troy starting off immediately with a spear on Kalani Jordan and immediately going for that pin. You can see that Rebecca Troy does not think very highly of her opponent as she's going for that pin, thinking this could be a one and done. And now I hear her screaming like, "How dare you kick out," as she wrenches her neck right there. Rebecca Troy looking to take out a lot of frustration on her opponent here tonight. And I can't blame her for feeling frustrated. A month ago at New Year's All-Star, Rebecca Troy was put in the hospital in the hands of the witch in a grueling 1 hour underground 2 out of 3 fall submission match, which turned into a bloody mess. I'm surprised the witch herself did not need emergency medical attention the way Rebecca Troy did, the things they did to each other. And then when she finally made her return 1 month later at Friday Night All-Star Live in Glasgow, Scotland, her and Damian Maximus end up losing the intergender tag team titles to the Wolfpack. And look at Damian Maximus in the background exposing that turnbuckle, looking to give, I guess, we could probably consider his girlfriend now, Rebecca Troy. And look at Damian Maximus distracting Kalani Jordan there. Kalani Jordan taking her eye off the ball, and that might cost her as Rebecca Troy takes advantage of the distraction and now gets the advantage. And a huge powerbomb by Rebecca Troy. And here goes Rebecca Troy with that armbar on to Kalani Jordan. Kalani Jordan with those shots to the ribs. And a huge right cross by Rebecca Troy. And look at her just working on the inner leg of Kalani Jordan. Rebecca Troy being very unforgiving here in Berlin. She has Kalani Jordan against the ropes. She goes for the Irish whip. And another right cross. He grapples up. Kalani Jordan thrown into the exposed turnbuckle courtesy of Damian Maximus. One. Kalani Jordan kicking out after a 1 count, but you can see that she's completely in a daze. She must have, that kick out must have been complete by Adrian. And there's Rebecca Troy again taking advantage of that exposed turnbuckle. And here she comes, coming to the top rope. Kalani Jordan barely getting to her feet here. And there's a cross body splash by Rebecca Troy. And she's setting her up. We could be looking at the Olympic clothesline. Olympic clothesline by Rebecca Troy onto Kalani Jordan. And now she's locking in that figure 4 leg lock. And it looks like the referee had finally gotten the turnbuckle padding back on. Thank goodness. We already can see Rebecca Troy having no problems using that to her advantage. There's a right cross and an open hand shot by Kalani Jordan. Kalani Jordan trying to fight back, giving it everything she's got. She's going all out at Rebecca Troy. And a wheelbarrow kick by Kalani Jordan. She makes her way to the second row. Front splash. Here comes the pin. 1, 2, and a kick out by the Olympian Rebecca Troy. Jordan springing off that top rope into a moonsault. She's going for another pin. And a second kick out by Rebecca Troy. You can see the desperation behind Kalani Jordan's eyes, the way she's fighting, the way she's utilizing that offense right now. Honestly, I think right now it's Rebecca Troy who should feel like the desperate one as the tables have turned. Kalani Jordan now on the offensive, going for a high-flying move and a spinning lariat takedown. Here comes a kick to the midsection. And a drop kick by Kalani Jordan. Rebecca Troy is down. This could be it. Troy is in a lot of trouble. She could be suffering her 3rd loss in a row here tonight. Kalani Jordan coming across the ring and a clothesline onto Rebecca Troy. And a wheelbarrow DDT. Amazing. Kalani Jordan pulling out all the stops on Rebecca Troy and another moonsault, but this time nobody home. Rebecca Troy rolling out of the way. And then she is sweeping the leg. We have Damian Maximus once again exposing that turnbuckle, looking to give Rebecca Troy an even bigger advantage. And here comes the pin by Troy. 1, a kick out by Jordan. And here comes Rebecca Troy, sizing her up. She goes for the Irish whip. She goes under. She goes over. And a Samoan drop by Rebecca Troy. Jordan seems to be in a world of trouble right now. Here she goes. Jordan doing everything she can to fight out of that hold. The referee, thank goodness, getting that turnbuckle back on. We all seen how dangerous Rebecca Troy can be when given the inch. And a super kick by Rebecca Troy. Jordan in a lot of trouble. Rebecca Troy can very easily win this match right here as she nails the spear. Could this be it? Will she qualify for the Fatal 4-Way match?
Here is your winner, the Olympian Rebecca
And Rebecca Troy now qualifies for the Fatal 4-Way match. She will have a chance to make history, to become the first ever GTW Women's Champion. And there she is, celebrating with Damian Maximus. That's right, folks. That will be our main event this Saturday. On Dystopia, we're going to have Rebecca Troy versus Brenda Bison versus Haley Webb versus Toni Storm. The winner of the Fatal 4-Way will be our first Women's European Champion. However, coming up next, we got a triple threat match coming up here on Brawl. That's right, a triple threat match, and it'll be for the number one contender for the Intercontinental Championship, as we're going to have Chosen versus Hernan Santiago and Nathaniel Gray coming up next on Brawl. Oh, hey Amanda. Do you have a minute? Yeah, sure, Witch. What's up? I want to say I'm sorry. Driving a wedge between you and my brother was never my intention. I was hoping I could talk some sense into him, but he just wouldn't listen. You don't need to apologize, Witch. I made my choice on my own. Dio was not who I thought he was, and now I understand why you're so frustrated with him. I just feel bad for Steve. I think he feels like he just lost his best friend. No, he hasn't, because he still has us. Anyway, I just need to get that off my chest. Try not to let that distract you. You have a big title match on Sunday. That's right, Witch. You better watch out, because you're looking at the next Women's World Champion. Welcome back, everyone, and it's time for tonight's triple threat between Chosen, Hernan Santiago, and Nathaniel Gray. The winner will be going on to Dystopia to take on Holiday Grayson for the Intercontinental Championship. And this triple threat is coming up right now.
The following is a triple threat match. Making his way to the ring from Kyoto, Japan, weighing in at 202 pounds, Chosen.
And here comes the high-flying masked wrestler known as Chosen. This man known throughout all of Japan, a huge star, former champion in New Japan Pro. And now he is looking to win tonight's triple threat match, where he'll become the number one contender for the Intercontinental Championship, finally getting his rematch against Holiday Gray. Grayson Holiday. This is Chosen's chance to win back what he lost, to reclaim the Intercontinental Championship.
And his opponents, first, from San Francisco, California, weighing in at 233 pounds, Hercules.
And here comes Hernan Santiago, the second opponent in tonight's triple threat match. Hernan Santiago thus far has been having a very impressive singles career here in GTW. But he's looking to be even more impressive by winning tonight's triple threat match.
from Houston, Texas, weighing in at 275 pounds, Nathaniel Gray!
A master of hardcore, Nathaniel Gray. A former GTW hardcore champion making his way to the ring in tonight's triple threat match. And what a night we've already had thus far. Rebecca Troy qualifying for the Fatal 4-Way, and what a Fatal 4-Way that's going to be on Dystopia to determine our European champion. But right now we're going to be focusing on the Intercontinental title. One of these three men, whether it be Nathaniel Gray, Chosen, or Hernan Santiago, will be going on to take on Grayson Holiday this Saturday on Dystopia for the Intercontinental Championship. That's going to be two titles on the line this Saturday, the night before our pay-per-view event, the Grand Rumble. And I'm sure that the losers of tonight's match will not stop them from climbing higher, as we have our 30 competitor Rumble coming up as our main event of the Grand Rumble this Sunday. The winner will be number one contender for the Grand Tour Championship. And here comes the bell. And there's Nathaniel Gray with a super kick on the Chosen. Now putting his focus on Hernan Santiago. And it's complete chaos in the ring already. Even the referee getting in the crossfire here. And there's Chosen going for the back leg of Hernan Santiago. There's a wheelbarrow bulldog on Nathaniel Gray. Chosen is on fire right now. And there's a lariat by Chosen as he falls by a moonsault. Chosen single-handedly taking out both competitors. And here's Nathaniel Gray cutting him short with that huge knee to the face, completely stopping his momentum. Nathaniel Gray now going for the pin on Hernan Santiago. It's Chosen throwing Nathaniel Gray into the corner. And Hernan Santiago with a backbreaker on the Chosen. Nathaniel Gray being thrown into the corner once more. And here's Hernan Santiago bringing it to the top rope. What does he have in mind here? And it looks like we're going high as Hernan Santiago goes for a superplex off the top rope onto Nathaniel Gray. And here's Chosen looking to pick up the pieces. Here's a clothesline by Hernan Santiago onto Chosen. And already this triple threat match here live in Berlin, Germany is completely on fire as these three powerhouses go at it. Here's Hernan going through the ropes. Goes for a Superman punch, but countered by a super kick by Chosen, who immediately falls victim to a bulldog by Nathaniel Gray, who then follows up with a moonsault, and here comes the pin, and Hernan Santiago breaking it up. Nathaniel Gray throwing the elbows into Hernan Santiago. And here comes Chosen, attempting a German suplex countered by Nathaniel Gray. And now here comes Hernan Santiago coming in the ring with a Singapore cane. Just a reminder to our audience here watching tonight's event, a triple threat match is also no disqualification. That's where the name triple threat comes from. All weapons are 100% legal in this competition. And there's a huge body slam by Nathaniel Gray. Hernan Santiago. Now, Nathaniel Gray fighting back. Hernan now getting a shot on Nathaniel Gray. These two powerhouses going counter for counter with each other. There's a gut buster, Nathaniel Gray, and here comes Chosen with a wheelbarrow kick, now going for the pin. And a kick out by Nathaniel Gray. Chosen now on the top rope, and he's going to fly. Shooting star moonsault. One, and Hernan Santiago breaks up the count. We have two Singapore canes. in the middle of the ring here, ready to be used by all three of these men. And there's an executioner by Chosen. And Chosen with those heavy strikes, a super kick to the face of Daniel Gray, and a German suplex right here in Germany. And what a backbreaker by Hernan Santiago. Now going for the pin. 1, 2, and Chosen kicks out. But Daniel Gray going for the grapple. Goes for the Irish whip. He reverses. And another counter by Nathaniel Gray. Chosen trying to get in the mix. End up being a victim of the crossfire there. And look at that. Look at that athleticism by Hernan Santiago. Rolling into that German suplex flawlessly. But Daniel Gray lay out in the middle of the ring. Chosen knocked out outside the ring here at ringside. This, and you have Hernan Santiago using the Singapore Cane. This could be his chance to get the win and become #1 contender for the Intercontinental Championship. And there's a leg drop by Hernan Santiago. Goes for the pin. Chosen breaking up the count. And there's Chosen throwing Hernan Santiago outside. And there's Chosen with an elbow drop onto Nathaniel Gray. Chosen on the top rope. High flying move. Another shooting star. And nobody home. Nathaniel Gray going for the pin, taking advantage. And Hernan Santiago breaks up the count. He threw Nathaniel Gray over the top rope. I think Hernan Santiago has no idea that Nathaniel Gray is still in play here in this triple threat match as he completely puts his focus onto Chosen. And here's a hip toss by Nathaniel Gray. And reversal by Chosen, rolling into a pin, reversing the German suplex. And Nathaniel Gray kicks out. And look at Chosen go, completely in control of this triple threat match right now. And he's going 1 for you, and here's 1 for you. And Chosen is the #1 contender. He will be getting his rematch against Grayson Holiday.
Here is your winner, Chosen.
This could be Chosen's moment. He'll be getting his rematch on Dystopia this Saturday. Will he be able to reclaim what he lost? Will Chosen become a 2-time Intercontinental Champion? Find out this Saturday as we live stream on Infinite Fantasy /twitch.tv live for Dystopia. Oh my god, I cannot believe this. I can't believe I get to tag team with Stone Cold Steve Austin. You're my tag team partner tonight. Oh my gosh. Whoa, hold on. You're in my personal space, son. Sorry. It's just, look, I gotta be honest with you. I used to wrestle. I didn't wrestle you as a kid. I used to watch you wrestle when I was a kid. Oh my gosh, I can't believe it. Like, you don't understand. I grew up idolizing you. You are the reason why I became a wrestler. This is honestly, Austin, it's an honor teaming up with you tonight. I didn't realize Mr. Elliott booked a fanboy as my partner tonight. Oh, don't worry. I won't slow you down. You know, I'm a former Grand Tour champion. Is that right? Well, I'll tell you what, Mr. Former Grand Tour champion. You have my back tonight, and you don't manage to mess this up. And maybe the two of us will go out to Berlin's finest bar, and we can get ourselves some of that German celebration, if you know what I mean. What do you drink, son? Oh, me? Well, I'm a big fan of root beer. Root beer? Oh, yeah, I love that stuff. I'm sorry, did you just say... Root beer. Yeah? Stone Cold Steve Austin going out tonight, going take you out a night on the town. You're going drinking in Germany with Stone Cold Steve Austin, and you want root beer? I'm sorry, did I say something wrong? You know what? Don't worry about it, son. How about we just go out there, go kick Moxley's ass, go kick Dio's ass, and then the two of us will go out and celebrate with all the non-root beer you can handle. And that's the bottom line, 'cause Stone Cold said so. And they have been chosen. What? It's a thing I say. Well, that was quite a segment we just saw backstage between Steve Austin and Steve Dynamite. Looks like they'll be celebrating tonight after they have their match against Sebation and Jon Moxley with some of that non-root beer, as Austin would call it. That's going to be our main event. Team Steve versus Team Champions, as Stone Cold will be teaming up with the chosen one, Steven Dynamite. But for now, the challenge has been set after a confrontation backstage. Asuka versus Brenda Bison, right here, right now, on Brawl.
The following is scheduled for one fall, making her way to the ring, representing the Kabuki Warriors from Osaka, Japan, Asuka!
And here comes Asuka, leader of Damage Control, one half of the Kabuki Warriors. In a way, Asuka is not wrong. It is her that Brenda Bison has to thank for winning the qualifying match last week on Dystopia, and I think that's exactly why Brenda Bison is mad. That she did not win by her own merits. And if we know anything about Brenda Bison and her code of honor, that when she wins the if she wins the European Championship on Dystopia in that Fatal 4-Way, she wants it to be on her own merits, not because of Asuka's interference. And then Asuka having a goal saying that she can be thanked by being the first one to get a title shot if Brenda Bison wins. And that just sent Brenda Bison completely over the edge.
And her opponent, representing the Red Faction, from St. Petersburg, Russia, the Assassin, Brenda Bison!
Now, no one can deny that the Russian assassin, Brenda Bison, is 100% a competitor. Her card is completely full. She'll be facing Asuka tonight. We also have word that she'll be participating in a trios tag team match. We also have word that she will be Andre Armstrong's tag team partner at the Grand Rumble as they take on the Old Gods, the team of Hercules and Amber Charlotte, with both the number one contendership of the World Heavyweight title on the line and Hercules' no accountability contract. On top of that, Brenda Bison, one of the 4 women competing at the Fatal 4-Way match in the main event of Dystopia this Saturday to become the very first women's European champion. I would say that Brenda Bison is working a full schedule this week on this European tour. But knowing her facing Asuka one-on-one tonight is probably nothing more than a warm-up. And here comes the bell. They grapple up. Asuka, one of the top wrestlers from Japan, taking on Brenda Bison, one of the top wrestlers from Russia. Both of them clashing here in Berlin, Germany. And there's Asuka going for a forearm smash. Brenda Bison just eating it though, grappling up with Asuka. And there's Brenda Bison using some of that Russian power. That iron steel, as she would call it. And here they come, grappling up once more. Each competitor testing each other's strength. And there's Asuka bringing Brenda Bison in the corner, and the referee being forced to break it up. And there's a kick. Brenda Bison with a dirty shot. And a net breaker by the Russian assassin. Here comes an armbar by Brenda Bison, getting the offensive advantage on Asuka in a singles match. What a night we've had so far. We've seen Rebecca Troy qualify for the Fatal 4-Way. The Fatal 4-Way, that will be the main event of Dystopia this Saturday. Brenda Bison, Rebecca Troy, Haley Webb, and Toni Storm competing to become the first woman to call herself European Champion. That will be live in Rome, Italy. And here comes Asuka throwing Brenda Bison off the ropes. Knee to the gut. We also just had Chosen win the triple threat match. He'll be taking on Grayson Holiday on Dystopia for the Intercontinental Championship. Oh, look at this. It's Jennifer Love. We've seen some confrontation between Jennifer Love and Asuka last week between Brawl and Dystopia. Asuka interfering in one of Jennifer Love's matches, and it looks like she's repaying the favor. Brenda Bison rolling Asuka up. All's fair, Love and Jennifer Love's war. Brenda Bison now going for the crossface on Asuka. Asuka in the middle of the ring, nowhere to go. Asuka managed to pry the hands open and reverse, getting out of the submission hold. And a lariat elbow by Asuka. And still to come, we have our main event tonight, as Stone Cold Steve Austin will be teaming up with the Chosen One, Steven Dynamite, against the Grand Tour Champion, Sebation, and the World Heavyweight Champion, Jon Moxley, here tonight. A little preview of our two big matches at the Grand Rumble, live on pay-per-view this Sunday. We got an amazing card coming up. We just found out that Brenda Bison will be teaming up with Andre Armstrong as the Red Faction to take on Hercules and Amber Charlotte. We got Steven Dynamite in an ambulance match against Sebation for the Grand Tour title. Jon Moxley in a death match against Stone Cold Steve Austin in Steve Austin's retirement match, and it will be for the World Heavyweight title. And here we have Brenda Bison once again getting Asuka in a crossface. And we also know that Rachel Rodriguez will be defending the Women's World Championship against Amanda Price due to request of Brenda Bison herself. That's going to be a very stacked card for the Grand Rumble. On top of that, the main event, a 30-competitor Rumble match. The Grand Rumble, where two competitors will start off. Every 2 minutes, a new competitor enters the ring until all 30 enter. The winner, the last one standing in the ring, will be the #1 contender for the Grand Tour Championship at our biggest pay-per-view event, WrestleNova. Asuka going for the pin on Brenda Bison. One, and an immediate kick out by Brenda Bison. It looks like she still has a lot left in the tank. And here comes Asuka going for that armbar onto Brenda Bison. And there's an elbow by Bison onto Asuka. She's going for the Irish whip. Asuka off the ropes. Brenda goes under. She ducks under the clothesline. And here's Asuka with the receipt. She goes for a double axe handle. Bison out of the way. Open hand chop. And she grabs Asuka by the head, throwing her across the ring. Main grapple up. Bison going for a German suplex here in Germany. Haha. And now Bison on the offensive, looking to go for another armbar, looking to make Asuka tap out. Winning the only way she can truly be satisfied. Asuka with a quick counter, rolling out of it, and with two rights able to break out the attack. Here on the spin kick, Asuka coming off the ropes. And Bison is down. And here's another submission hold by Asuka, looking to beat Brenda the same way she was trying to beat her, and Brenda Bison immediately counteracting. No one knows the ins and outs of tactical wrestling like the Russian assassin, Brenda Bison. He has Asuka against the ropes. Brilliant strategy by Brenda Bison here. And Asuka lands her head. Here goes the pin. 1, 2. A kick out by Asuka. And once again, Bison for the third time putting in that crossface. She's got Asuka in the middle of the ring. Asuka again able to break out of it. Brenda Bison is obsessed with winning this match by a tap out. And she just countered Asuka's attack. Now going for the figure 4 leg lock. You can hear Asuka wriggling in pain, screaming. And here comes the pin. Could this be it? 1, 2, 3, and Brenda Bison gets the win.
Here is your winner, the Assassin, Brenda Bison.
A major victory by Brenda Bison against Asuka. However, one must guess, will she be able to carry that same streak, not luck, but prowess when she goes into the Fatal 4-Way this Saturday on Dystopia? And I see we have Bowling God 74 here in the live chat saying, "Oh my God, the plane was delayed and the suitcases were found by the airport security to notify me to get my ass to the amazing wrestling match live in Germany. Well, here I am live and got myself some German potato salad to eat." Well, I'm glad you can make it, Bowling God. Thank you for joining us. And you made it just in time because we are so close to tonight's main event. But before that, we're going to be hearing from our challenger for the Women's Championship, Amanda Price, coming up next on Brawl. Ladies and gentlemen, introducing your Women's World Champion, Rachel Rodriguez, as she makes her way to the ring to address the crowd here in Berlin, Germany. This Sunday, Rachel Rodriguez will be defending the Women's Championship against Amanda Price, due to the request of her former opponent, Brenda Bison. A match not for grudges, but for the honor of the championship belt. And you can hear the crowd in Germany going absolutely crazy for their women's champion, Rachel Rodriguez. This Saturday on Dystopia, I'll be part of a tag team match. I will be teaming up with Jennifer Love as we take on the Kabuki Warriors, where we can finally put this rivalry to rest once and for all. In all honesty, I cannot wait to put this whole thing with Asuka behind me because she is distracting me from what I should really be focused on. You see, this Saturday, I will be defending my Women's Championship on a little pay-per-view called the Grand Rumble. I will be in front of thousands in Greece when I have the pleasure of competing against one of the most talented wrestlers in the women's division. Speaking of, I would like to invite my opponent at the Grand Rumble out to the ring, Amanda Price. First of all, I want to thank you for this opportunity. Really. You did not have to give me this match. Do not thank me. It was Brenda Bison who spoke on your behalf. As the women's champion, I am obligated to follow a code of honor in the ring. Bison gave me one of my best matches. One of the best matches I've ever had, and I only hope you, Amanda Price, can do better. That is one thing I promise you, Rachel. When we compete for your title, I will give it everything I have. Win or lose, I just want to let you know you took GTW by storm when you became women's champion. I've been watching your matches and I am impressed. I know, as champion, you will lead the women's locker room to greater heights. Thank you, Amanda. I appreciate that. With that said, my respect for you will not hold me back. When the bell rings, I am coming after you with everything I have, and you better do the same, because if you hold back, even for a moment, I will walk out of Greece as a two-time women's champion. I know many of you think I have my distractions right now with my friends and my ex. Sorry, Dio. And you certainly have yours with Asuka. So take care of your business in Dystopia, because if we are both not competing 100%, then neither of us are giving that title the respect it deserves. Honestly, I could not have said that better myself. I will see you this Sunday in Greece. Amanda Price. See you in Greece. And what respect between these two women, between the champion and the challenger, as me Rachel Rodriguez versus Amanda Price this Sunday on pay-per-view for the Women's Championship. Alright everyone, it is time for tonight's main event. We have tag team action as Stone Cold Steve Austin and Steven Dynamite team up against the World Heavyweight Champion Jon Moxley and the Grand Tour Champion Sebation. A preview to come for our two big matches at the Grand Rumble this Sunday, when we have an ambulance match between Steven Dynamite and Sebation for the Grand Tour title, and a death match between Austin and Moxley for the World Heavyweight title. Tonight, these four will compete in tag team action in front of our live crowd here in Berlin. Ladies and gentlemen, Team Steven versus Team Champion right here on Brawl.
The following contest is a tag team match set for one fall. Introducing first, from Long Island, New York, weighing in at 214 pounds, the Chosen One, Steven Dynamite!
And you can listen to the crowd here in Germany absolutely roaring as the Chosen One comes out with his explosive entrance. But you can't help feel sorry for Steven Dynamite. After all, he was betrayed by his closest friend in the male's locker room, Sebation. Those two once brothers in arms. Sebation becoming envious of Steven Dynamite's relationship with his sister, the Witch. Has turned his back on completely, slugging him in the face, nearly costing him his match at New Year's All-Star. With things escalating between Sebation and his sister and tag team partner, the Witch. With them breaking out and Sebation completely going out of his mind, attacking Steven Dynamite in the middle of the ring. It has now come down to these two facing each other one-on-one, and not just any match for the Grand Tour title, but it's going to be an ambulance match this Sunday at the Grand Rumble.
And his partner from Victoria, Texas, weighing in at 252 pounds, Stone Cold Steve Austin!
Ladies and gentlemen, the Texas Rattlesnake is here in Berlin. This Sunday, he'll be challenging Jon Moxley for the World Heavyweight Championship in a death match. But it's not going to just be the title. It's also going to be Stone Cold Steve Austin's retirement match. This will be the final time Austin will step in the ring. And what better way to end his career than bringing home the World Heavyweight title in what's going to be one of Austin's most grueling matches against one of his most grueling opponents, Jon Moxley. And now we got Bowling God in the live chat saying, get the beers because the main event is gonna be nuts. I would say so. This main event is gonna be on fire. Here comes the Grand Tour champion.
And from New York, weighing in at 246 pounds, the Grand Prix champion, the Demon, Sebation!
The Demon, Sebation, Grand Tour champion. Two-time Grand Tour champion, to be technical, winning it for the first time at Friday Night All-Star against Hercules in a steel cage match. The second time at Holiday Mayhem against the timeless Tony Storm. And now he'll be defending it this Sunday on pay-per-view. And speaking of champions, here comes the World Heavyweight Champion, Jon Moxley.
And from Cincinnati, Ohio, weighing in at 225 pounds, the World Heavyweight Champion, Jon Moxley.
Jon Moxley making his way to the ring. He will be Stone Cold Steve Austin's final opponent live this Sunday on pay-per-view at the Grand Rumble as they face off in a death match. The World Heavyweight title will be on the line. If Austin wins, he can say that he is ending his career, retiring as the World Heavyweight Champion. However, Moxley might have different plans for the Texas Rattlesnake, as he wishes to hold on to the title so he can use it to elevate the talent here in GTW. And it looks like we're starting off with Sebation and Dynamite in this tag team match, and you can hear the excitement in the arena as these two legends start off this tag team match. We've been waiting to see Steven Dynamite and Dio Sebation go at it for so long. It's only fitting that they get to start off tonight's tag team match. And look at that size and power of Dio Sebation. Looks like we're going to be getting a little preview of things to come. And no, Dio immediately tagging out, and Jon Moxley now in the ring. I was about to say we're getting a little preview of things to come with the Grand Rumble, but it seems the moment Dio had the chance to tag out, he did. Dynamite having a little trouble overpowering Moxley there. Thinking quick on his feet, he went for the legs there. Steven Dynamite, not the strongest competitor in GTW, but definitely one of the smartest by far. And now, Steven Dynamite tagging in Stone Cold Steve Austin. Austin now going one-on-one with Moxley. Another preview to come for the Grand Rumble when these two face off for the World Heavyweight title. As Moxley getting the shoulder up, an early attempt by Stone Cold Steve Austin to get the pin. Austin, this would be Stone Cold Steve Austin's third match here in Grand Tour Wrestling. He's already won the first two, both times beating former Grand Tour and World Heavyweight Champion, the mighty Hercules. And there's a power slam by Jon Moxley onto the Texas Rattlesnake. And Moxley going right into a brawl against Stone Cold, who's now up against the ropes. And look at those hard and heavy hits by Moxley, sending a clear message to Steve Austin, telling him exactly what his retirement match this Sunday is going to be like. And a huge scoop body slam by Jon Moxley. Austin in a lot of trouble. Moxley on the offensive. This is not a match right now for Jon Moxley. This is a statement. This is sending a message. And here comes Moxley coming off the ropes. Double axe handle into the back of Stone Cold Steve Austin. And there's the punt. The stomp. The stomp by Jon Moxley. And Dynamite breaks up the pin just in the nick of time. Steven Dynamite saving this match. That would have been over if Jon Moxley can get that stomp in when he faces Stone Cold at the Grand Rumble. He could definitely 100% secure his World Heavyweight title. Now here comes Dio Sebation being tagged in. Here comes Steven Dynamite. And now we have Steven Dynamite going up against Dio Sebation in this tag team match. Steven Dynamite with the moonsault. And here comes a kick by Steven Dynamite. Dio out of the ring. Steven Dynamite shoving out of the ring with a Hurricanrana. And the referee beginning the count out. Another preview of things to come. Dynamite going all out on the Grand Tour champion right now. Unlike Austin and Moxley, where their intentions are purely for that championship. Between Dio and Steven Dynamite, this is completely personal. These are former best friends who are now at each other's throats. Dio Sebation knocked outside the ring. He's only got a second to run inside. And he gets in just in the nick of time. Dio only a split second away from losing by a countout. And Dynamite throwing Dio into the corner. And now he tags in Stone Cold Steve Austin, now in the ring, the legal man, and a double shoulder tackle by Dynamite and Steve Austin. And a hard knee by Austin onto Dio Sebation. This might be the only time we ever get to see these two legends in the ring against each other. This is a huge treat right now. Dio Sebation, the son of the King Demon Sebation, a GTW Hall of Famer, going up against Stone Cold. There's Jon Moxley with a spiked suplex onto Austin, and Dynamite with the save. Moxley going for a second pin. This time, legs on the ropes. Austin with the kick out. And again, those heavy hands by Jon Moxley going for that backbreaker onto Stone Cold Steve Austin. Moxley now tagging in the Grand Tour champion, the Demon, Dio Sebation. And look at that strength, that inhuman, demon-like strength of Dio as he just completely deadlifts Austin over his head. And there's Austin getting the shoulder up. Here comes the grapple. Dio going for the Irish whip. Austin with the reversal. Austin now has Dio in the corner. And look at Steve Austin go. Goes for the Irish whip. Now in the corner. Austin makes the tag to Steven Dynamite. Dynamite. Oh! And that was definitely a Stone Cold Steve Austin tactic, using Dynamite's own heel as a weapon there. Dynamite going for the pin. One. And a kick out by Dio Sebation. Oh, and look at Moxley with that dirty shot from behind. And he might have just given Dio the opening he needed. Dio with that headbutt followed by not one, but okay, a German suplex followed by a huge clothesline. Dio coming off the ropes. Frog splash. And here comes the pin. 1, 2, and Dynamite getting the shoulder up. And just look at that brutality by the Grand Tour champion. He's setting Dynamite up. This could be it. This could be the end of days. And no, Dynamite counters. Dio going for the end of days. Steven Dynamite countering with his own finisher, the Psycho Cutter. 1. And there's Moxley breaking up the count. Kick from Steven Dynamite. Dynamite fighting back, trying to gain the advantage, and I think he just used the end of days on Dio Sebation. Steven Dynamite just used Dio Sebastian's own move against him. Dio getting the tag on the Moxley. Dynamite getting the tag to Austin, and here comes Austin going for a power bomb. Oh no, he's turning into a fireman's carry. Snake eyes onto the ropes. Now he's got Dio. Dio reverses the Irish whip. Austin on the ring apron, and Moxley spears him outside the ring. Moxley now in pursuit here at ringside. That was amazing teamwork by Jon Moxley and Dio Sebation. And look at Moxley just playing with Austin. It looks like Austin just had enough as he pushes Moxley away. And Stone Cold Steve Austin now setting him up for a suplex. And the entire arena here in Berlin just shook after that one. Moxley having no choice but to retreat outside the ring to get a breather. Austin now on the receiving end of those brutal strikes from Jon Moxley. And a huge backbreaker. Now tagging in the Grand Tour champion, Dio Sebation. And Dio with a massive powerbomb. Stone Cold spine bouncing off the ring there. Dio tagging in Moxley saying, "You can have the honors." There's Moxley with Irish whip. Stone Cold reverses. Spine buster by Steve Austin. Now Stone Cold getting the tag in. The chosen one, Steven Dynamite, in the ring with Jon Moxley. Goes for the Irish whip. Moxley off the ropes. Dynamite goes under. Goes over. And a flipping drop kick. Amazing nimbleness by the chosen one, Steven Dynamite. And there's a fisherman suplex by Moxley. A very crude one at that. And now it seems Moxley has the advantage here on Steven Dynamite. Bring him to the middle of the ring, away from the ropes. He's bringing Dynamite where he can be the most vulnerable right now. And a DDT by Jon Moxley. 1, 2, and there's Austin. Stone Cold Steve Austin with the save. Moxley now sizing Dynamite up. Was it going for a second one? A second DDT. I don't know if Dynamite's going to be able to kick out of this. This could be for the win. 1, 2. I don't believe it. The fans here in Berlin are going absolutely crazy. Dynamite somehow managed to kick out. Here's Dio in the ring. Steven Dynamite going for the Psycho Cutter. It got him with the finisher. This could be it. 1, 2. And Dio gets the shoulder up. It seems all 4 men, all 4 competitors in this tag team match, unwilling, unwavering. And there's Moxley catching Dynamite at ringside. Sebation going to work on Stone Cold. And there's Dio slamming Stone Cold on the ring apron, getting him out of the match. Dynamite taking out Moxley. And Stone Cold fighting back. Moxley knocked out in front of our announcer's desk. Stone Cold fighting back against Dio. And it seems Dio's attack on Stone Cold might have just backfired. And Dynamite out of the ring with the flying Hurricane on the Jon Moxley. Stone Cold with the pile driver on the Sebation. All 4 men fighting outside the ring. This is complete chaos here on Brawl. And we have all 4 men in the ring now. And now Dio having his eyes set on Steven Dynamite. The 2 fighting ringside at the moment. They have a chance to get back in there, bring order back to this match. But it looks like Dio and Steven Dynamite are more interested in causing pain to each other, causing damage to each other, than actually winning this match at the moment. We're more than halfway through the ring out. It looks like neither one of these 2 men care what's going on here. Dio in the ring. Dynamite. No, Dio just broke up the count. Dio just broke the count out. That just proves my theory right there. Dio is more interested in causing pain and suffering to Steven Dynamite than he is winning the match. And here goes Sebation, just throwing Dynamite around like a rag doll. Dio now making a tag to Jon Moxley. And things are not looking for Team Steve right now. Moxley completely laid out Steven Dynamite. And there's Dynamite with a European uppercut fighting back. And here comes a Psycho Cutter. Dynamite with this finishing move on to Jon Moxley. 1, 2, and Dynamite with a double axe handle, breaking up the count. Our main event continues. There's Moxley sweeping the leg of Steven Dynamite. Dynamite tagging in Austin. You see Steven Dynamite laid out outside the ring, barely standing. Steve Austin taking control of this match as he comes off the ropes. And here comes Moxley with the stomp On to Stone Cold Steve Austin. And here goes the pin. 1. And there's Dynamite breaking off the count. I'm telling you, the stomp, Jon Moxley's stomp, that is the equalizer right there. And here comes the sleeper hold. This guy's Austin in the middle of the ring. I don't know how much Austin has left. He might actually have to consider no, he manages to slip out. Austin barely escaping. And here's Moxley applying the pressure once more, not letting up, putting Austin in the crossface. Austin throwing the elbow. I'm telling you folks, what a main event this is turning out to be. For these competitors, legendary. Moxley now making the tag to Sebation. And imagine how much this would elevate a champion like Sebation if he were to secure a victory onto Stone Cold Steve Austin, if he could pin Stone Cold Steve Austin here tonight. Here goes Dio coming in with a backbreaker onto Austin. Not one, but 2 backbreakers. Austin broken in half. Dio going for the pin. And Dio gets the victory over Steve Austin.
Here are your winners. The Demon, Sebation.
And look at them. Moxley and Sebation celebrating their tag team victory. The World Heavyweight and Grand Tour champion standing victorious in tonight's main event. But will the results be the same with our 2 big matches at the Grand Rumble, when we have Jon Moxley defending the World Heavyweight title in a death match against Stone Cold Steve Austin? Will Steve Austin be able to call himself World Heavyweight Champion one last time before retirement? Who will be put in the ambulance between Sebation and Steven Dynamite when they face off in an ambulance match this Sunday at the Grand Rumble for the Grand Tour title? We'll find out when it's live on pay-per-view this Sunday. Live streaming at 7 p.m. here at Infinite Fantasy If/Twitch.tv. And don't forget to tune in this Saturday for Grand Tour Wrestling Dystopia, where we'll be having Chosen versus Grayson Holiday for the Intercontinental Championship. Rachel Rodriguez and Jennifer Love in a tag team match against the Kabuki Warriors. And our main event, a fatal 4-way match to determine our very first GTW Women's Champion, GTW European Women's Champion, as we come to an end of our European tour in Roman Italy, right before going to Greece for a pay-per-view. It's going to be Brenda Bison versus Toni Storm versus Haley Webb versus Rebecca Troy. European title on the line in a fatal 4-way. That's going to be this Saturday on Twitch. And for those of you who watch my content on YouTube, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that notification bell to know when more GTW content is coming near you. And as always, may your fantasies be infinite.